What is going on, everybody? It is Captain Titan. We are back again with our next tier list, and I think multiplayer is a little too important to just go ahead and rush it, so I think we're gonna do that one after this one. This one is gonna be the third modes. The third modes have historically been either just some variation of zombies or Spec Ops or something different. Some other games had some other stuff inside of them, and we'll just see how we rate them, what they were like, and yeah. So let's get right into it. And before we do, I just want to let you guys know this is my opinion first and foremost. If you guys disagree, feel free to leave what you disagree with in the comment section below. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Call of Duty 4. Alright, this game didn't actually have a third mode, so I would not be, I don't think you guys would be confused at all if I took it off the list. But I think we're gonna give it an A tier. Actually, I think we're gonna keep it in between A and B tier, because it kind of started the whole idea of the Special Ops game mode. And I'm just gonna keep it here because I don't know what else I'm gonna put here, but no, it's gonna just go right here. I don't even know I did that, but yeah. It kind of showed off Spec Ops in a way with the epilogue mission, which was known as the Mile High Club, where Task Force 141 infiltrates a jetliner thing, and you have to save a hostage. It was super cool. A scene from it was ripped straight out and put into Modern Warfare 2019 Spec Ops. That's how iconic it was. Overall, I just think it kind of just started the whole Spec Ops thing. World at War, Nazi Zombies. Yeah, we're gonna go S tier with this one. I wouldn't go double S tier for one small reason. I mean, of course, you have to, since it was the first one, you do have to give it credit for what it was. But the reason why I'm not giving it a double S tier is because A, content was missing, and B, there were just some weird glitches because the zombies were just really weird with their hit detection or whatever. But on top of that, you also had the jug glitch on with the Wunderwaffe that would just completely get rid of your jug if you got hit by it. And it was really difficult and just kind of annoying to play over and over. If you were to let me play any game over and over, I think the most replayability is probably in Black Ops Cold Wars zombies, or Black Ops 3s, or Black Ops 2s. Just depends on what you want to do. But yeah, I just wouldn't give it to World at War. Alright, next up is Modern Warfare 2. This one also gets an easy S tier. I would give it a double S. You know what, I'm going to give it a double S for now. We'll see how I feel about it later. Spec Ops, I believe there were 23 missions, I think, in the entire Spec Ops, and they were split from tiers from Alpha through, I think, Foxtrot or something like that. And each tier had its own fair share of missions, and you pretty much had to do the certain objective, whether it be just take out a bunch of enemies, or you had to take out a certain number of juggernauts, or you had to run the pit. For example, a lot of these were ripped straight out of the campaign, which I think was really cool. The campaign obviously was very loved by the fans, so the fact that they were able to let you guys go back into it with your friends and run through some objectives, I think was very cool. I also have great memories on there. I think it also gets a nostalgia one for me, because me and my brother, we would always play the Sniper Fire one that took place in the mission contingency, and we'd always race for the Predator missile, and he'd always get it first. And me being the dumb little boy that I was, I would shoot up and destroy all the cars parked behind the main building, because no matter what happens, even if we die, I don't want the enemies to escape. That was literally my reasoning. But I digress. At the end of the day, Modern Warfare 2 gets a double S tier. Black Ops 1, another double S tier. Let's talk about the maps real quick. In Black Ops Zombies, you finished the game and you had 5 let you play as JFK, Nixon, McNamara, and Castro. Probably the most badass celebrity cast that Zombies has ever seen. You played in the Pentagon. It was a really difficult map, I'll give it that, and you had a really garbage wonder weapon with the shitty ass Windows Owl. But I think it was still a really solid and fun game overall. Again, lots of memories on there, with being too scared to play through Kino. But I played 5 because 5 was, well lit or whatever. But the moment I go downstairs, I would back out because I got too scared. But yeah, and then on top of that, you had maps like Moon, which is really cool. You had Keynote or Totem, probably the best map for training. probably the most iconic map as well. You had a remaster of all the World at War maps, which was really good because it added perks to all of them and made them feel a little more full. And I'll talk about this more when we get to Black Ops 3 because of Zombies Chronicles. But anyway, when it came to the other maps, you had Call of the Dead, another celebrity cast. It was a cool map. The idea of it was really cool. It was really fun to play. I think it just gets a little bit of hate because of the ice and George. But yeah, it's a fun map. What else we got? We got Ascension. Ascension's probably, it's one of the most underrated maps in all of Zombies. I'm gonna say that right now. And I'm kind of moving fast here, so I'm gonna just skip over the rest. But those are like the most notable ones. All right, next up we got Modern Warfare 3. Probably an S tier. It had some variation. It had like the similar variation of Modern Warfare 2's, but it had a survival mode, which I think was more fun and overshadowed this, so that's why I think it's going to deduct a little bit. I don't think it tops Modern Warfare 2's, because Modern Warfare 2's was just like straight up fun, but this one was a lot more methodical about planning. It's more similar to Zombies in the sense that you had money, and you could buy guns, perks, kill streaks, and other things to help your survivability. But I still think overall it was a great game. Really fun survival. I like it a lot. Black Ops 2, it's gonna get a double. I think actually no, hold on. We're gonna go right in the middle, and you guys are gonna be saying, oh, you hate Black Ops 2. What do you have against Black Ops 2? Zombies was so good, but here's the thing. We had Transit at launch, and the rest of the Victus maps, which were I might be forgetting one or two, but we had Die Rise, we had Nuketown, and I think the last important one that we need to bring up is well, great, I'm forgetting it, but Nuketown, Die Rise, and Transit, 3 of the main maps, and there were I think 4 or 5 maps in total. They kind of just made the game feel kind of boring. They were kind of difficult. I mean, Die Rise with its liquefier, it was really fun, but I think it just got like really boring after they nerfed this liquefier. Transit, of course, you know, you had fog and all that stuff. I think Transit was fun for memories and nostalgia, but I just don't think it was a great map. And then finally, Nuketown, you had to wait possibly up to around 25 to get jugs, so that's just an issue altogether. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about Black Ops 2 Zombies. But the reason why it should have been an S tier is because of 2 main maps, maybe even 3. Yes, I meant to say Buried here, because Buried's like kind of in between the great and the bad maps. But the great maps, arguably the best map but the 2 best, most highly contentious maps in Zombies history are Origins and sorry, I'm forgetting it. Why am I forgetting it? Mob of the Dead. Such great maps, such great atmospheres for each of them. You had a really cool cast for Mob of the Dead set in Alcatraz. I actually have been to Alcatraz, and I remember going through the map, and it was just so weird seeing all of it like that. And then I remember Origins was also really cool because they remastered the crew from, not remastered, they more like reimagined the Ultimates crew. So overall, Black Ops 2 deserves a good S tier, S to double S tier. It's like S and a half. We'll call it that. Call of Duty Ghost Extinction. I'm not gonna waste your time. This is a C tier game mode. It was fun at first. Replayability value was missing. The story behind it was pretty cool. Like, I mean, like the Odin strikes opened up cracks in the earth that like these alien things came out of, but they were like not aliens. Whatever. Storyline behind it was pretty cool. I'm just gonna say it right now. Execution fell on its face, and I'm pretty sure it only had 1 map, so I just think that was really annoying. But alright, I think this tier list is going to be a little weird compared to other tier lists you've seen, because I'm going to be putting a lot of things in the middle, or it might be just be 1. We'll see. Alright, Advanced Warfare, I think this gets a solid B tier. Alright, first thing, it kind of copied MW3's survival game mode, but added XOs to it, so I mean, you know, the XOs, they added a little bit of variability to it. And of course, it's not as good as MW3's, but I don't think it's bad. And it had Exo Zombies, which I'm gonna be honest was a little confusing coming off of Treyarch Zombies. but I think it was also pretty good. I had fun playing it. The only issue is that it was sucked behind DLC, and there were a few maps to it. There was Outbreak, and there was the Burger Time map I remember mostly, and there was the other map, I forget what it's called. Storyline behind it was really cool with like the crew that survived, and then like the one dude, the janitor dude, is like the original zombie or something like that. So much lore behind it, incredible, but I just think that, you know, kind of fell on its face. Just because people didn't like Advanced Warfare, which is really sad because it was a great game mode, so I think it deserves a B tier. I would put it down with Ghost at C, but I don't think it deserves that. Alright, okay, I forgot to bring up something with Black Ops Zombies, but I just think you didn't even need to mention it. Dead Ops Arcade, that was also really fun. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because I know I am going to have to bring it up in Black Ops 3, which gets A as S tier. Zombies, you had 4 maps. 4 DLC maps plus the 1 launch map, Shadows of Evil. Great for the hardcore players, a little difficult for the casuals, but you will end up learning. Storyline to it was dope, atmosphere was amazing. Pack-a-Punch was kind of annoying to get, like round 6 or 7 to get it, but if you're just good with budgeting your zombies and all that stuff, you should be fine. Next we have Horizon Rock. Obviously, it's a great map. It's contended to be one of the best zombies maps of all time. Zetsubo no Shima got a little bit of hate, but I think it was still a really cool idea. It just became literally Plants vs. Zombies, but CoD simulator at times, because you had to plant those pods to get the certain things, like you had to get the artillery shell or whatever for the Easter egg step. So that was kind of annoying. Gorod Krovi, amazing atmosphere, so pretty easy Easter egg. Just overall great map. I think it was probably my favorite map because the dragons and Nikolai and the boss battle was really cool. And then finally we have Revelations, which I think it played too hard off of nostalgia, so it's not as good as the other maps. I think it's like Zetsubo tier, but it was easy. It did have a lot of the stuff that we loved. Like it had a Mob of the Dead section, had an Origin section, it had a Kino section. Also, Black Ops 3, I haven't talked much about like the specifics, but introduced Widow's Wine, which is one of my favorite perks because it's so helpful. So I thought that deserved a mention. Alright, Infinite Warfare, I think this can get a solid A tier. Okay, hold on. Let's back it up. Black Ops 3 also had Free Run and Dead Ops Arcade. Free Run was kind of like the speedrunning thing. It kind of wasn't played as much as probably Treyarch intended, but I still think it was a really fun game mode. Just kind of to relax and just like try to run up the harder courses and see what time you can get with your friends. And Dead Ops Arcade obviously is just Dead Ops Arcade. It's just, there's nothing bad about Dead Ops Arcade like ever. But yeah, Dead Ops Arcade was really fun, and overall the whole Zombies experience was amazing. And don't even get me started with Zombies Chronicles remastering almost every map. Every at least Ultimates map, and which is pretty much everything in BO1 except for the ones that are the celebrity casts. Everything in BO2, or no, it was only one map in BO2. What am I talking about? Only Origins from BO2, and all the World at War maps. Really, really cool. He gave you 8 maps for like I think it was $35 at the time, and I think it's a little cheaper now. Great value, great game overall. Black Ops 3 Zombies, perfect double S tier. Infinite Warfare. Alright, I just looking at this now, I kind of did not bring in Black Ops 4, so I'm going to do that real quick from another slide, just right after. But yeah, Infinite Warfare, A tier, as I said. The Zombies story, okay, it kind of lost itself around Shell and Shuffle, which is I think the map that took place in like New York. It just kind of got a little weird, but I think Zombies in Spaceland, super fun to play with friends, super fun overall as a game mode. The Zombies, they kind of did play a little too hard off of Treyarch's, perk system with the candies. I remember there was, I think it was, they had the one that was basically Juggernog. I forget all the names, but I know there was Bang Bang, which is basically double tap. They had Speed Cola. They had one that would increase your melee damage by a lot, which I thought was really fun. It just got like the boss battle for that game was annoying, but like overall, I think it was still pretty good. World War II. All right, Call of Duty World War II. I think this is gonna get a hard pressed to put it either trash or C. Because look, the zombies, I feel like the only thing they had going for them was that they were scary. Had they not been as scary as they were, or as like well executed in that only in only that regard, it's a really like just not a fun zombies game, because I think they laid out the Easter egg too easily for you, or like at least like the core part of it. The maps, they looked beautiful. The storyline was okay. I thought it kind of like took a little too much out of well, I mean, it's not even their fault because it was set in World War II, so they had to take World War II notes, but I feel like it kind of played a little too hard off of like, you know, Richtofen and Maxis sort of thing, with like the evil Dr. Straub being basically like evil Dr. Richtofen. But that's not really their fault. It was World War II. They only have, the only reasonable thing is a Nazi scientist. But yeah. Black Ops 4. Hold on. Behind the scenes a little bit. I'm gonna shrink this way down. Match it up with Modern Warfare right here. Hold on. And I think this one's gonna get a B tier. I'm just kind of disappointed by this game. Or no, actually, it's gonna get yeah, it's getting trash. And just because I feel bad giving this game trash, but not World War II. World War II is also gonna get a trash tier because they were both really similar when it came to content and that sort of stuff. All right, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. What went wrong with it? Actually, no. Black Ops 4 is gonna go up here because it's something important that I'm gonna tell you guys about later. BO4 Zombies. We didn't get a single original Aether map like for the Chaos storyline. We got you know, the Titanic map. We had 9. We had the Mansion map. Overall, it was just really the maps were pretty good. They just were not promoted at all. I think the zombies themselves would get a trash tier. For our story, you got I say our, but I mean the Aether story. You got Blood of the Dead, which just felt like a soulless version of Mob of the Dead. And then you had Alpha Omega, which is just Nuketown with Avogadro and Akimbo Rig on Mark II's, just, you know, unoriginal. Classified was I think Classified was a worthwhile map. I think it was probably one of the better maps in Black Ops 4. You added in the new area to 9, and you got to play as the Victus crew, or not the Victus, the Ultimus crew. I think it was fun. Black Ops 4 Zombies fell flat on his face, but we need to talk about Blackout. Blackout was the COD's first entry into the BR market. I feel like at times the looting system was a little convoluted, with picking up like literal like 2x and 3x scopes off the ground. And the armor plate system, if you got level 3 armor, you were basically unkillable. But I think the events that they did were really cool, like flooding the dam, or destroying the dam and flooding the map. I think that was really cool. What else? You had the whole thing with the zombies stuff, so you can get an MP40, which I heard kicked ass, and the Galil as well, and some other guns like the Zvi handler or something like that. It's basically the MG08 from Origins put into this game. And then you also had, of course, the infamous ray gun if you killed the Blightfather. And also the characters that you could unlock were pretty cool. You could do some skins to unlock like David Mason, Reznov, Woods, you could get Price from the pre-order for Modern Warfare, but you could get a bunch of different characters. Overall, really great BR experience. But speaking of BRs, yeah. Because if I automatically say third mode, you start to think of Spec Ops and you're like, why the hell are you putting it up here? I need to defend Spec Ops here, because a lot of the guys that I play with, I know you guys are watching, because one of you guys has post notifications on. I appreciate it. You guys say Spec Ops is, and I say you guys because as if I'm talking to them, but a lot of people say that Spec Ops in Modern Warfare was objectively bad. Here's what I think. I think that Modern Warfare's launch for its Spec Ops was bad, because the larger operations, like Operation, I think like Crosswind or whatever, like the bigger named ones with the cutscenes and stuff, those were very bad at launch. Spawns were turned up to 7,000 from all directions. Enemies were on like, if veteran could be veteran. Overall, just impossible. And then when they toned them down, they were like really easy, which I think they should have been like that difficulty, maybe just like a little harder. And then you had the modified versions where they came out later that would give you blueprints and stuff if you completed them. I think that was really cool. that kind of redeemed it, but I think it was too late for most of the community to realize. Next, we're going to talk about the dumpster fire that was the survival mode, because look, the survival mode was actually good. I think it was very, very good. The problem with it that I face mostly with it is that the PS4 exclusivity for a full year kind of ruined it for my friends that played on Xbox and PC, because I couldn't play with them. I'm a PS4 player, so I had no complaints because I was able to use it, but I couldn't play with them, which was really annoying. But the whole concept behind it was cool. It was like MW3 Spec Ops basically ripped right out. It had Gunsmith for the guns that you could buy, so that was really, really cool. You can get, like, I remember me and my friends, we played out like, alright, everyone buy the FAL, because the FAL is a semi-auto. You can conserve ammo, and it hits pretty hard, so when the Juggernaut comes, you'll be able to kill him pretty easily. So we were just like planning, and we bought like 7 deployable covers and locked ourselves in top building and shoot house. But yeah, it almost feels nostalgic, even though it hasn't even been a full year. But now we're going to talk about Warzone. The best BR on the market, to the point that even Fortnite's stealing from it. As of right now, Warzone's kind of in a crappy state. But when Warzone was in its prime, which I'd say is like probably season 4, maybe, you had this huge map, Verdansk. That's pretty much what I think Spec Ops was made for. It was meant to be a play test, almost a live play test for its BR map. Same thing with the ground war maps, like Karst River Quarry. You had Port. You had Boneyard. What else? You had Farmland. All these different maps were meant to just be like, and downtown, of course. There were just different ways for you to test the BR map and the stability of it. So I think that was pretty smart on Activision and Infinity Ward's behalf. Look, if we go through this top to bottom, it's an amazing game. All right, the armor system, really, really cool. Simple, 50 health per plate. Just pop them in. You could buy stuff with money you find around the map. You can buy UAVs, which give you an advantage. Precision airstrikes and cluster strikes, which will obviously give you an advantage. A loadout drop, which would be game changing because you can get your own perks and your custom weapons. So you'd be almost a force to reckon with if you got your loadout before anyone else. What else we can talk about? Of course, the cheater and hacker problem is atrocious in that game. But I heard that Activision is working on getting some good anti-cheat, or getting an anti-cheat rather. But yeah, it's a great BR. It's probably the best on the market. Like, the whole contract system for getting cash, really good. I mean, Fortnite stolen that whole cash thing and the bounties that they've implemented in their newest season. But I think overall, it's a really, really fun game. If you think Spec Ops at first, you might want to knock it down to like B or C tier. But then when you talk about Warzone, it's an automatic double S tier. It brought so many people to CoD. It did so many things because it gave us entertainment, and it made Activision money. So they're not aggressively like throwing supply drops at us. So that's like really, really great. Cold War. We have just started this year, so I don't know what much I can say about it. But as of when I'm recording this video, I'm recording this the night that Firebase Z dropped. Thursday the 4th of February. I'm recording it right now. I think, okay, first of all, we're going to talk about Die Maschine. Nocturne and Toten from World at War, they just like, alright, let's do that, but we'll like give you the entire playable area as well. We'll give you an underground facility, and we'll give you the upper, like the roof, and we'll give you just a lot of room to train around, like a whole swamp and that kind of stuff. Let's talk about some things. First of all, going in with your own custom weapons. Everyone thought that would be really game breaking to zombies at first, but I feel like now everyone just runs meta knife, or they'll just be running whatever guns they want to upgrade. That's my strategy for getting camos in this game. But you just run the knife, and you stay in there for round 7 or 8, and you go up, open up the map, and then you just like play however you want. You either camp, penthouse with ring of fire, or you're gonna train with Aether Shroud in the swamp or spawn or the plane wing. Really simple. I love how they outlined how to get to power, and turn on Backup Punch for like the beginner players, because Treyarch knew that they were bringing in a bunch of players from Warzone that just bought into the CoD franchise after a while or just straight in for the first time. So I think the way that they helped walk you through it was very good. I love how I didn't even rank it yet, but yeah, what else do we got? Firebase Z just dropped. It brought us something that we have wanted for a while, the Ray Rifle. The Ray K, whatever, it's basically the Ray Gun Rifle. It's like an AK, and really cool. The whole vibe to Firebase Z is really dope. You have Weaver's Russian friend. I think I'm actually gonna put this in 8 tier. Maybe actually I'm gonna put it with Black Ops 2 in 8.5. Just because it fits so. It's really good. And like honestly, I think by the end of the year, we'll depending on how the DLC maps go and how everything is set to go for this game, we might be able to put it in a S tier. And maybe when it's as good, we might be able to put it in double S tier. But time will only tell. Because of the seasonal system that Modern Warfare adopted from like other games like Fortnite and Apex, are the four maps a year cycle is kind of getting thrown off. But we're expected to get, I think, like 6 or 7 maps for zombies by the end of the year. So that's gonna be really dope. I'm really hopeful to see what they're gonna do with this game. And overall, that is my Call of Duty 3rd mode tier list. I can guarantee you guys that the multiplayer and the overall game, like I'm going to do one for the multiplayer and I'm going to do one for the overall game as a package. That is pretty much what I think of the 3rd modes in CoD. Feel free to disagree with me in the comment section. Of course, this is my personal opinion. I'm not saying this is the objective list. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I've been Captain Titan, signing off.